Hey guys, welcome back. Daniel Lewis Crumpton with downloadedcontent.com. So this is the second video in the CannaSense kind of 101 video series. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, there's no worries there. It should be in a playlist. However, it's best to watch these videos at downloadedcontent.com under the CannaSense Total Wellness page because you'll see all the videos in their order and with other resources that I'll be adding to on a regular basis. So first and foremost, let me get the prefaces out of the way. This is not an official CannaSense video. It's not authorized by CannaSense. I'm not an employee of CannaSense, and I hold no official title with CannaSense. However, I am a caregiver, an authorized caregiver, and a member of the CannaSense Total Wellness Cannabis Collective. So everything that you hear in this video series is going to be my own personal testimonies, my own personal reviews, and my own personal opinions regarding CannaSense. This is not issued by CannaSense, the organization. Also, I'm not a member of the Bar Association, thank the gods, and I'm not a doctor, unless you want to qualify me in the same category as Dr. Strange. So I'm not going to give you any legal advice or any medical advice. I'm just going to speak from the heart of what my own personal experiences and opinions are. So now that we got that out of the way. So in the first video, we talked about what CannaSense was, what CannaSense is as an organization. What the overall structure of the collective is. And so in this series, or this video, what I want to talk about is what CannaSense calls the Trifecta and how to obtain your California medical cannabis recommendation to join the collective. So the first place I would point you to is CannaSense.com under the education page. And where you're going to find the Trifecta is under How is this legal? So I'm going to be reading from there. CannaSense was developed, tested, and refined over a 13-year period using existing laws as an avenue for patient access to cannabis in all 50 states. The Compassionate Use Act of 1996 is a California law that allows anyone to become members of a cannabis collective with the recommendation of a doctor. Article 4, Section 1 of the U.S. Constitution says, "Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state, and the Congress may by general laws prescribe the manner in which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved and the effect thereof." This means that Article 4, Section 1 ensures that states respect and honor the state laws and court orders of the other states, even when their own laws are different. It is also known as the Reciprocity Clause. Under the Affordable Care Act, patients can see their doctors through telemedicine services from the privacy of their homes. Internet-based video conference calls enable their doctors to write prescriptions and recommendations in a legal and accepted way without leaving home. CannaSense partners with California-based telemedicine physician services to provide easy access to patients for a teleconference appointment with a California doctor who will give them a treatment plan, a physical medical cannabis card, and a signed recommendation for membership with CannaSense. Legally, under the provisions of the ACA, this is the same thing as the patient traveling to California to see the doctor in person. When a patient uses this CannaSense process, it legally makes them a California patient under the protections of the Compassionate Use Act, even though they may live in another state. Through this process, they are California patients. After the recommendation from the physician is attached to the CannaSense sponsorship form and submitted to CannaSense for approval, which usually takes one business day, they are assigned a patient ID and they are able to log into their account to order from the apothecary store here on the CannaSense website. For more information on the larger legal structure under which CannaSense operates, please read the official legal statement. There are several legal safeguards with CannaSense, the first of which is our compliance within the legal framework mentioned above. The second is the medical card, which in many cases can shield a patient from scrutiny by agents of the state. The third is the discreet way we ship the medication. We ship right to the patient's homes in nondescript packaging without labels indicating the contents of the package, thereby protecting each patient's privacy. Also, the patient's credit card statements are completely without any, quote, red flag terms. The greatest benefit of being a patient with CannaSense is the CannaSense Foundation, whose primary purpose is to provide legal defense teams at no cost to any patient or member who has legal issues as a result of using cannabis. So that is from CannaSense.com under the education page under How is this legal? So essentially what CannaSense calls the Trifecta. It's basically a framework of three legal existing legislations that already exist. Now, I don't want you guys to misunderstand where CannaSense is probably coming from here. It's not the only three pieces of legislation. However, there are a good bit of people out there who are seeking medical cannabis that aren't as liberty minded as some of you guys watching and myself. So you want to make things kind of simple for people who just they need to get access to their medicine and get better. You don't want to kind of choke them with a bunch of Supreme Court rulings and things like that. So the trifecta essentially is the Compassionate Use Act of 1996, which is California legislation, Article 4, Section 1 of the United States Constitution, and the Affordable Health Care Act. Also, it might be the trifecta because, it forms a pyramid, and CannaSense might actually be the Illuminati or something. I'm just saying for all of you conspiracy theorists out there, if you really want to go there, you can kind of get a pyramid out of it, but whatever. So anyway, that's the basic legal framework for the trifecta to get in. And like I said, I'm going to try to limit some of my commentary about legalities and your constitutional rights until the end of this series. So I just want to first get you guys the information you need to become members of CannaSense. So the first step to enrolling in the CannaSense Medical Cannabis Collective is you have to obtain a medical cannabis recommendation from a California board certified doctor. Okay, and so this is the first step. So before you do anything, this is the step that you need to accomplish. And there has been a little bit of confusion, and I assure you there probably will still be some confusion in this process because, like I said in the previous video, CannaSense is cutting edge. They're doing something that nobody's ever done before. So you're not gonna you can't expect, especially other doctors or other people out there on the internet, to understand this legal framework. It's new. Putting these things together is a new thing. So in regards to getting your medical cannabis recommendation, if you can't physically go to California, which I can't and I did not. But I did, however, obtain a California medical cannabis recommendation. And how I did that is through the leg of the trifecta called the Affordable Health Care Act, which opened up telemedicine. And so before I go any further, people who are into repeal and replace, and look, I'm not making any commentary on the Affordable Health Care Act, okay? What I'm talking about is telemedicine. Regardless of what happens to Obamacare, telemedicine is here to stay. Once you open Pandora's box, it's open. So telemedicine's here to stay. And so let me try to clarify telemedicine. Legally, according to the Affordable Health Care Act, if you are visiting California or a California doctor via the internet, that virtual appointment is legally the same as visiting California, as if you're there. So an appointment via the internet is the same as if you are in California. This is what enables the many of the members in CannaSense who are not in California to become California patients. Okay, so I want to clarify that. So now, that is, like I said previously, there are a lot of doctors don't practice the law. Okay, they practice medicine, and so this is even new to a lot of doctors. And there have been some CannaSense members who've ran into some issues with doctors misunderstanding the law, and that's okay. Okay, that's fine. You need to expect that. Don't let it dissuade you. This is about you living better and getting well. So. What I would basically say in the instance of how do you find a medical cannabis recommendation or provider online is Google is going to be your best friend here. Okay. However, I can give you some suggestions of providers that a lot of CannaSense patients didn't have any trouble with. One of them is onlinemedicalcard.com. If you go to onlinemedicalcard.com, and there should be links in appropriate places on this video, wherever you happen to be viewing it, to get there. You can use those guys as a provider. I've heard great things about them, and there has been very little trouble with them. If that's not to your liking, you can try compassionatecareca.com. These guys, from my understanding, they understand the laws of the Affordable Health Care Act, and they're not going to give you any issues about your visit to California virtually being illegal. visit regardless of your state. The only thing that I have heard about Compassionate Care CA is that they are a little bit backlogged and their interface is just a little bit more difficult to use than others. So, like I said, it's your preference. Another provider is mmjdoctoronline.com. I've heard some great things about them. I haven't personally used them, but you can give those guys a shot. And then, of course, there's prestodoctor.com. You can give those guys a shot. But there are multitudes of online telemedicine providers who you can try to get your California medical recommendation from. So just keep persevering right there. And so basically, from when I went through my appointment, it was very simple. You open up an account with whichever provider. You basically fill in your basic information, your name, your email, your address. Typically, they're going to do a technology test to see if the camera on your smartphone or if your computer works and your microphone. There should be a questionnaire. The questionnaire basically is what they're asking for is to find out what you're seeking medical cannabis for. Is it for post-traumatic stress disorder? Is it for recovery from substance abuse? Is it for cancer? Is it for migraine headaches? Whatever it is. That questionnaire is to give the doctors an idea of why you're seeking medical cannabis as a medicine before you actually have your appointment. So I highly suggest if you're going to be talking to a doctor about whatever your ailment is, really utilize that time and talk to him. I had a great time with my doctor, and he taught me a lot about cannabis that I didn't know in regards to my own symptoms. So really utilize that while you have the opportunity. So regardless of which online telemedicine provider you choose, you will, after your appointment, if you're approved, you'll get a PDF of your recommendation in your email. It's very important to go ahead and save that to your desktop. We'll get to that later. And you'll get a printable medical cannabis ID card. The next business day for most of these guys, you're going to get them in the mail. You're going to get a hard copy of your recommendation with the doctor's seal and license number, and you'll get a card. And I would just suggest you take your medical cannabis card and you keep it in your wallet in case you have any issues while you're carrying your medicine and you're approached by law enforcement. So that's just what I would do. So that's the first step in becoming a member to the CannaSense Total Wellness community. Understand how the trifecta works. Seek an online board certified doctor to give you a medical recommendation. If you happen to come across a doctor that doesn't understand the laws or they have an issue with your state and things like that, you just need to know that doctors typically don't practice law, and according to Obamacare, a virtual visit via the internet is a legal visit to a doctor. So, but as always, don't believe me, go and look it up yourself and do your own research. That's kind of the aim of all this. So that's the first step, is go out and procure your California medical cannabis recommendation, and then we're going to go from there in the next video on what you need to do to start the process of becoming a CannaSense member. So until then, good luck and be well. Also, before I go, I do want to let you know that if you are viewing this on the downloaded content CannaSense Total Wellness page, a box should have popped up that says enter your information if you want a CannaSense caregiver to contact you. These are people who, they don't work for CannaSense. These are my team members. We'll get to that here shortly. I'll explain that more in detail. But if you do have any problems with this part of the process, every one of my team members has been through this process and can help you troubleshoot if you have any problems. So you can utilize that as well. So until then, the first step is understand what the trifecta is, make sure that you know the legalities involved, and then seek your online medical cannabis recommendation. So in the next one, we'll go from there. Be well.